So hey ballers, welcome to the channel. As our thumbnail says, we're going to talk about the 5 things that I really hate about the Sportster 72.
Boy, that sure sounds good.
There's a lot of great things to love about this bike, and there's a few things that I just don't like. So let's go through those, and then we'll talk about on another ride, the things that I do really like about it. You've seen in my past videos that I did a full review on this, owner's review, talk about all the things that I put on this bike. Where it started, where it's at, and we have a few other things we probably do to it. But after owning this bike for about a year and a half, riding it everywhere, I'm gonna put a couple thousand miles on it in the year or so that I've owned it. So I got a pretty good understanding about what makes this bike good and what makes it not so good. And so here in no particular order, you can see I'm on an expressway riding across this bridge. And probably one of the bigger detractors of this bike, and really any Sportster of this era, is it's a 5-speed. So you can see I'm hitting 60. Let me get going a little quicker here. I'm up at 70, 75. And while the engine's got a lot more to go, it just does not have that cruising gear that something like a Softail or one of the cruising touring lines has. So that's a detractor. It's only got 5 gears. The second thing I'd say on the Sportster 72 is, again, a lot of the Sportsters of that era, it's this frame, is the suspension. Suspension on this bike is horrible. It's decent for one person, really bad for 2. And even with the upgraded shock package that I have on this bike, progressive shocks, it's nowhere near as comfortable as my Softail. So that's a detractor definitely on this bike. This is not a bike that you're going to run a long time on, right? It's more of a bar hopper bike. And maybe if you're a younger rider, you're going to be able to get on here and go for 100 miles, 150 miles, and feel fine. But for us guys that are in our middle-aged, I'm telling you, after 25 miles on this bike, you're ready to get off. Now, that being said, the third thing that is just a real detractor to this bike, as well as the 48, is it has a 2.1 gallon peanut tank. And while that tank makes this bike look awesome, it gives it that chopper feel, that chopper look, at 2.1 gallons, I basically get right around 50 to 60 miles per tank, and that's if I'm being nice to it. If I'm really, on the throttle, working the gears, I might get more like 45 miles before the low gallon or low fuel light kicks on. Now, I have figured out with the low fuel light that I have about a third of the tank left. I've never really pushed it to the end. I can just tell you when the low fuel light comes on, I'm usually putting in about a gallon and a half, which tells me I got about 3/4 of a gallon to go. But in terms of this bike, 3/4 of a gallon is really just about, maybe 12, 15 miles, if that. And again, that's if you're being nice. So those are 3 detractors. The other thing is the stock seat on this bike is horrible. That was the very first thing I swapped out when I got the bike. I rode it, and after 45 minutes, I was just in pain. So that got swapped out to a CC rider seat. It's a much more comfortable seat, but I would not go as far as to say that it's a really comfortable seat. And that's not has anything to do with the seat. That's just a combination of the frame and just how this bike is set up. Another detractor from this particular bike, the Sportster 72, is it's kind of an oddball bike. It's a bit of a a redheaded stepchild, if you want to say. So when you're looking at pieces and parts to put on this bike, you really got to watch what you're buying, because even though they'll say, oh, fits your bike, whether you're looking on eBay or RevZilla or JP site, whatever it is, right? You're best off go to the manufacturer's website, find that same part there, and verify that it fits the bike. Because a lot of times what I run into is in the notes it'll say fits Sportster blah blah blah, does not fit 72. So there's a lot of pieces and parts that maybe you can get for a 48 or a 1200 custom or something like that you're not getting for the 72. So it kind of limits you a bit in what that is. I would say that's probably about it. Those 4 or 5 things are my top things that I don't necessarily like about the bike. But all in all, it's a great looking bike. It does exactly what I wanted it to do, which is take me 20 miles, 25 miles, let me get off, let me pal around, talk to people, get back on and ride. Now, other than that, again, as I said, it's not a bike you're going to take on long cruises, but I will tell you, as I've said in my other videos, this bike is a head turner. People will be telling me at the gas station, nice bike, or if I stop at a stop sign, red light in the summer, nice bike. I don't get a whole lot of that on the Softail. So, all right, thanks for watching the channel, and if you like our stuff, give us a like, and if you really like our stuff, well then go ahead and subscribe. Thanks again.